That once, in the burning heart of the Syrian desert, a queen rose from the sands to challenge the mighty Roman Empire? A woman so bold, so brilliant, she nearly rewrote the fate of the ancient world. This isn't a legend, this is history, and most people have never heard it. In today's journey through forgotten history, we're uncovering the stunning rise and tragic fall of Palmyra, a wealthy desert kingdom that stood toe-to-toe with Rome itself. At the center of this story is Queen Zenobia, a warrior monarch who dared to defy an empire. Her ambition, her brilliance, and her downfall shaped the fate of the ancient world. And yet her name barely echoes in modern memory. Let's change that. History remembers Caesar. It remembers Alexander, even Cleopatra, whose legacy still burns bright in popular imagination. But Zenobia, the queen who nearly conquered the East and carved out an empire from Roman ruins, she remains largely forgotten, reduced to footnotes in Western narratives. Why? How could a kingdom so powerful and a queen so influential vanish almost entirely from modern awareness? To understand why, we need to peel back layers of lost history, imperial politics, cultural pride, and one woman's unbreakable will. It's time to rediscover the empire of Palmyra and the queen who dared to challenge Rome. Palmyra, a jewel in the desert. Before Zenobia, there was Palmyra, a desert oasis city, strategically nestled between the Roman and Persian worlds. Its name means City of Palms, and it rose from obscurity through trade. By the 1st century CE, Palmyra had become a cultural melting pot. Greek, Roman, Aramaic, and Persian influences blended with Bedouin traditions, producing a uniquely rich society. Palmyra's wealth came from its location on caravan routes that stretched from the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf, carrying silk, spices, ivory, and incense. Think of it as the Dubai of the ancient world, cosmopolitan, rich, and fiercely proud. When Rome absorbed the region in the 1st century, Palmyra didn't resist. Instead, it became a client state, autonomous but loyal to the empire. Rome got its taxes, Palmyra got protection and trade privileges. It seemed like a win-win, until cracks began to show. Born around 240 CE, Zenobia, whose real name was Septimia Zenobia, was no ordinary woman. She claimed descent from Cleopatra and the Ptolemies of Egypt, and her fluency in multiple languages, Greek, Aramaic, Latin, and Egyptian, was matched only by her intelligence and ambition. She married Odenathus, the ruler of Palmyra, a shrewd man who supported Rome while simultaneously defending his own interests. When Rome struggled against Persia, Odenathus stepped up, leading successful campaigns and earning the title Corrector of the East. But his assassination in 267 CE changed everything. Zenobia took power as regent for her young son, Vaballathus, but she was no placeholder. She ruled as queen, and soon as empress. Rome at the time was unstable. The 3rd century was a crisis era. Emperors rose and fell with alarming speed, and civil wars threatened to tear the empire apart. Zenobia saw her chance. Under her leadership, Palmyra expanded dramatically. She launched military campaigns into Egypt and Asia Minor, securing key Roman provinces and declaring her independence. Not outright, but by having her son's name placed alongside the emperor's on official documents. Rome initially tolerated it. They had bigger problems. But when Zenobia declared herself Empress of the East and Palmyra started minting its own coins, the message was clear. The Desert Queen had broken away. Enter Emperor Aurelian, a soldier emperor determined to restore Rome's lost glory. When Zenobia's actions could no longer be ignored, he marched east, launching a campaign in 272 CE to reclaim the breakaway empire. Zenobia's forces were formidable. She had built a strong military and her generals were loyal. But the might of Rome, organized under a capable commander like Aurelian, proved overwhelming. The decisive battles were fought at Imae and Emesa, where Palmyrene forces were defeated. Zenobia retreated to Palmyra, hoping to regroup, but Aurelian followed. 5. The fall of Palmyra. As Roman legions surrounded Palmyra, Zenobia fled east, perhaps seeking Persian support. But she was captured near the Euphrates and brought back to Aurelian in chains. Palmyra surrendered. But when a later rebellion erupted, Aurelian returned and destroyed the city, reducing the once great metropolis to rubble. The desert reclaimed what Rome couldn't rule. Zenobia's fate is still debated. Some sources say she was paraded in Aurelian's triumph in Rome, adorned in golden chains. Others suggest she was treated with respect, allowed to live in luxury, even marrying a Roman senator and living out her days in Tivoli. Whichever version is true, one thing is certain. Zenobia's dream of an Eastern empire had ended. But her legend had only just begun. The real climax isn't the fall of Palmyra or Zenobia's capture. It's the moment she dared to defy the Roman Empire. Think about it. In a world dominated by patriarchal power structures, where Rome ruled with an iron fist, a woman from the desert rose to challenge the most powerful empire on earth. And she almost won. Zenobia's legacy is a lesson in resilience, vision, and courage. She refused to accept the limits placed on her by gender, by geography, or by history. And yet, history chose to forget her. Why? Perhaps because she didn't fit the Western narrative, or maybe because her story is one of uncomfortable truths about power, imperialism, and the strength of those on the margins. But today we remember. Zenobia wasn't just a queen, she was a symbol of resistance, intellect, and ambition. The lost empire of Palmyra, now half buried beneath the Syrian sands, once stood as a beacon of culture and defiance. As modern history tries to reclaim forgotten voices, Zenobia's story resonates louder than ever. In a world still grappling with the legacies,